Okay, so good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, and welcome to the first of our VA Forum Zoom series. For those of you that might not have heard of the VA Forum, we established ourselves last year, and we're very much network supporting PAs that either want to become a VA, VAs that might be starting out in their career as a virtual assistant, and for those more experienced VAs who perhaps needs help and support and bringing together a community. This year in 2021, we have decided to focus on the creativity side. So all of our events this year will be focused around helping and supporting VAs grow their business with creative ideas, such as to support marketing and sales. So we're delighted to be joined today by 4 experts in their field. We're going to kick off with Zoe Russell from ZHR Marketing. Good morning, Zoe.
Morning, Dan. Thank you very much for having me this morning.
I met Zoe at a networking event, and what I absolutely loved, we hit it off straight away, was her tenacity to be able to have such a passion for marketing and to give you all the tools to be able to help you support your marketing within business. So I'm very, very grateful that Zoe has decided to join us today. So welcome, Zoe.
Thank you. Really excited to have the opportunity to chat to you this morning. I do get very excited about marketing and sharing my passion for it. And for those people that sort of indicated earlier that they were a bit nervous at the prospect of doing any marketing, don't worry, I promise there won't be any kind of painful elements to this. Now, what I'm going to focus on before we get into everybody else's sections is the fundamentals of marketing. So these are the bits that you've really got to get right in your business first, so that when you go on to create your website, put together your visuals or messaging on Canva, write social media posts, or even brief a graphic designer, you'll have the best chance of all of those promotional elements working for you. So the 3 key things I'm going to go through are target market, product offering, and pricing. They sound a bit dull, but they are massively, massively important when you start out on your marketing journey. So I work with lots of businesses, helping them to create their marketing strategy and their overall promotional plan. And I always start at this bit with these key areas, because if these 3 elements aren't aligned in your business, then it doesn't matter what you're doing in your promotional marketing. It will never work as hard for you as it should. So if we start off with target market, now this is without doubt one of the most difficult things for any small business owner to nail down. And I've seen it as a particular frustration for quite a lot of VAs, because most of you have got such a diverse range of skills that you can offer to so many different types of business owner, that the idea of niching can be a little bit scary. People genuinely have this legitimate fear that if they don't tell everyone that they can do everything they might ever want, then they'll miss out on sales. But ironically, the absolute opposite of that is the truth. So when you're trying to appeal to everyone, your message becomes in danger of becoming so vague that no one is quite sure what you can do for them. And when you consider that there are so many people out there vying for each prospect's attention at lots of different levels, if that prospect doesn't understand that they are your ideal client and that you are the perfect person for them to work with, you're going to have to shout very loudly at them in whatever kind of promotional tactic you're using many, many times before they understand. And in the meantime, somebody else who's identified their niche and is communicating it well may have piqued your prospect's interest and closed the sale before you've even got a look in. Now, identifying your target market doesn't have to be difficult. So, top tips are to think about recognizable characteristics that you can quantify. So, if you've already got a client base, look at your existing client base, work out which of your clients you like working with the best, and then look at what those clients have in common. You know, what things do you do for them? What size is the business? Is there an industry, a location, a company culture, a sort of a specific set of employee roles, anything like that? Because all of those kinds of things can be helpful in finding the right people for you. So in my business, for example, my target market is owner managed businesses. So solopreneurs, startups and micro businesses with up to 10 employees really, but they have no marketing expertise within the business. And most of the time, you know, those business owners know that marketing is important, but they just don't know where to start. So I can then talk about these specific types of business owners and their characteristics in any of my promotional marketing so they know that I can help them. And then having that clear target also helps with strategic alliances that I might have, because if they're looking out for opportunities for me, they know I'm not interested in working with big corporates, for example, so they won't pass me the wrong kinds of referrals. And it also means that when I get inquiries, I can sense check them, so I can do a little bit of digging on their websites, LinkedIn, etc., to make sure they are the kinds of businesses that I want to work with and I can add real value to. And if I wanted to, I could even buy data based on these kinds of parameters, so that I could do some kind of targeted campaign. So then, when you combine having a well-defined target market with a really clear product offering, things start to get even more exciting. So I've been working with a lot of HR consultants recently, and they've actually got quite a lot of the same issues, I think, as VAs, in that they've got lots of different services they can offer that can bring income into their businesses. So actually nailing it down again into which ones they're going to offer, they don't want to miss out on opportunities. So I've been working with one lady in particular. She'd been getting lots of work helping people sort out their employee contracts. She hated employee contracts, but the prospects that she was talking to understood that as a product and as a concept, and it brought in cash. But it really, really wasn't what she wanted to be doing with her business. So we identified a core target market, which was people taking on their first employee, then did an exercise around all the things that people should actually do when they're taking on their first employee, and 90% of the time they don't. And we created some specific packages that she could offer. And the beauty of this was that she had something that she could easily describe, she could clearly demonstrate how they added value, and she could actually charge a lot more for doing that than she could just offering employee contracts. And within 2 weeks, she'd taken on 2 dream clients and was doing the kind of work that she actually wanted to do in her business. And it's made such a huge difference to her because she's doing what she wants to be doing. And it's primarily because she's got a clear product offering that she can communicate to a specific audience. So it's bringing the right clients in. And then finally, pricing. And again, this can be a massively tricky area for people. People, you know, particularly when they set up their businesses, tend to undervalue themselves. And I've seen lots of VAs offering work out on a really low hourly rate, which to me doesn't seem right, because when you set up on your own, it definitely shouldn't mean you've got to work every hour God sends just to scrape by. You know, I'm sure that's never anybody's driving force behind setting up their own business, and it's got to pay for you. So I'm not just going to say put your prices up, although I really advocate valuing yourself and the service that you offer. But this is again where aligning these really fundamental aspects of marketing is so important. Because when you can stand out from the crowd because you've got a really well-defined target market and you have a product offering that demonstrates value, you can charge more for it. So you can move beyond a basic exchange of time for money into what we might call a value-based transaction. So you think about a plumber. he'll come out, he'll charge you £100 for 5 minutes worth of work. And he's not going to negotiate on the fact he was only there for 5 minutes, because you're not paying that plumber for his time. You're paying for his knowledge, his expertise, his training, but you're also paying for the stress that he's saving you from the potential damage he's saving you from, etc. It's a value-based transaction. And even though you guys aren't plumbers, you can apply those same principles within your businesses. And that helps you move towards that point of finding your point of difference, so you can base your pricing model around the types of clients that you want and the service level that you're offering, rather than just being stuck on that hourly rate. And then hopefully, if you go through those key things, you identify your target market, you really nail down a product offering that you can articulate simply, and you get your pricing right, then that will make a big difference to you, and you'll start to understand why getting the fundamentals of your marketing is so important, and then how it will also have such a massive impact on the promotional tactics that you choose to use, because it will also be informing the messages that you decide to put out there. Because promotional marketing, which is that next step forward, is all about attracting the customers that need your services and are prepared to pay for them. And you won't get them right if you haven't got you won't attract them if you haven't got the fundamentals right in the first place. So just remember, target market, product offering, and pricing. Get those right to give any promotional campaign you might invest in the best possible chance of success, because the more you get them right, the better the return on any investment you make in your promotional marketing as you go forward. So I hope that helps. And if anybody's got any questions that they want to fire at me, I think we've got a few minutes, haven't we, Dan?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great shout. So I for those of you that don't know, I also have a training business, and my business coach sat down with me and she said, right, you need to put a date in the diary. You need to think about your target market and who are you going to. And I've always worked in the hospitality industry, and whilst that's an industry that's really struggling at the moment, they need help and support. And I'm going to be very much focusing on that going forward. But if has anyone got any questions for Zoe, please feel free to unmute yourself or type those into the chat box, and we'll happily ask those for you. Rachel just says, very clear and informative, Zoe. Thank you very much. We are hoping to be working again with Zoe, who will be delivering a more in-depth session for us a little bit later in the year. But if anyone has got any questions, then please just add those into the chat box and we can come back to those at the end. But thank you so much, Zoe. Really
My
appreciate
pleasure.
it. So we've got our marketing plan in place, and we've thought about our target market. Now, one of the things that we move on to next is looking at different types of marketing materials that we have. So we're very glad to welcome Helena from Indigo Sky Business Support. How are you, Helena? You okay?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. Nice to meet everybody.
Thank you so much for joining us. So for those of you that don't know, Indigo Sky are our partners in all things design. They've helped us with all of our logos in the past, our websites for the PA Forum. They've helped us with all of our programs for our awards nights, conference programs, etc. And you're here today to tell us about websites, aren't you, Helena?
Yeah, that's going to be the focus today. So yeah, I'll share my screen. I've got a little presentation just to bring what I'm saying to life. Bear with me 2 minutes. Fab. So can you see my screen, Dan? Brilliant. Okay. So yes, nice to meet everybody. So I'm Helena from Indigo Sky. So we grow businesses online through awesome print, website build and design. Today we're going to be focusing on the website services that we offer. So what we'd like to cover briefly today in the 10 minutes we have: why have a website if you don't have one already? And if you're thinking about having a website, why use a bespoke website service against the likes of GoDaddy or 123 Reg that tend to dominate the market? What makes an effective website? how it works, and how your website can be found higher on search engines to grow that business. So first things first, why a website? Why have a website? So there's a number of different reasons why you might. You might have a social media page already, which is absolutely great. You might not know where your online journey will be starting from. There are a number of reasons why we recommend having a website. One, for credibility. So the minute you hear a company name, I don't know about you, but I'm straight on Google. And if you've got a website, a standalone website, it shows you're pretty serious about what you're doing. It's a bespoke place to display information. Now, obviously, there's other online places that you can display information, such as social media, and it's definitely worthwhile having. But a website gives you that freedom, a much larger space to display information alongside your other marketing strategies to captivate your audience. And it also means you've got your customers' undivided attention at that very moment. You've got pages and pages of information about your services and products and how you can help those individuals. You can grow your client base. So we're going to be talking about SEO very briefly during this presentation, which stands for search engine optimization. And that's how your website can be found higher on search engines. It gives you a competitive edge over people that might not have a website, especially if you're working in quite a competitive industry, such as being a VA. And of course, you can grow your sales through it. So obviously, you can give your direct website to a client. People are finding your website through search engines. Of course, that increases your chances of growing your sales. Plus, being able to list your website on directories as well online is a good opportunity. So why use bespoke website services? So I'm just going to sound like I'm doing myself out of business here, but I'm going to mention GoDaddy, 123Reg. They are available for building a website. And in fact, you can have what would appear a nice looking website within an hour. But does it sound too good to be true? Yes, it is. So why is it? So this might look a bit random, but I've used two images here. One of a block of flats and one is a detached house in the countryside. So what does this mean? So when you have a website in a website builder, you're often limited in terms of how your website can be found on search engines, because in effect, your website within this website builder, whether it's, I'm going to use, for example, 123Reg or GoDaddy, is in the block of flats. So in terms of the SEO capability, the website optimization capability you're able to do is limited. So when potential clients are trying to find your business, in effect, they're looking for you in a block of flats. If you have your own standalone website on a independent platform such as WordPress, which is what we specialize in, your website suddenly becomes a detached house. Now imagine you've got two friends whose addresses you're going to find. Whose house are you probably going to find easiest? Is it going to be flat number 37 in a block of flats, or is it going to be a standalone house in the countryside? And also think about the attention as well on that website, and in fact this house analogy. So the block of flats, they all look the same. They're simple. You can hear noise from next door. There's distractions. And this other image of this house, all your attention's on that. It's got its own land, it's established, it's on its own, and your client's attention, as you drive past that house, your attention is fixated on it at the same time. Again, another great reason why to have a website. And finally, I was going to mention, you might have clients that might use online selling platforms such as Etsy, not on the high street. Again, all these have their merits, but the downsides of those platforms, again, is you're listed alongside your competition. By having your own website, not in a block of flats, but having your own standalone piece of land, this is me, this is my business, I'm professional, I know my stuff. That really is the place that if you want to take your business forward and grow, that is the best way forward. And that is the difference between using bespoke services such as ourselves and using 123Reg or GoDaddy or any other website builder. There are certainly pros and cons, but they're the differences. So why use us very briefly? So we are not tunnel build websites. We are not geeky coders in our back bedrooms, basically saying if you ask us to build you a green website, we'll give you a green website. We are a bit more 360 degree than that. We'll take things into consideration aside from just the website itself. What do I mean by that? So it relates to what Zoe was mentioning earlier in her presentation. So we'll be asking you questions, and if you've done some great work on your marketing strategy, we'll be asking you things like, so in regards to your website, this green website that you want, So how does that relate to your logo and branding? Do you even have green in your logo and branding? Your competitors, what are they doing? Have you done any research as to what their websites are doing and what is working for them? Because the answers are out there. Market placement. So are you going, kind of basic end in terms of pricing structure? Are you going luxury end in terms of market? Because that will really drive the look and feel of a website. Who are the customers you're trying to talk to? What problems, benefit creations are you trying to achieve through your products and services? And what are your products and services at all? And this will all feed through into the wider website design. So we are not tunnel build website builders that will just do as we're told. We'll give you those healthy challenges back to think, have you considered these areas? And that will help, really help definitely achieve the objectives you want to achieve with your business going forward. So I'm just going to go on to the fundamentals for a minute here. How does a website work? Because one of our values is being transparent, and I think it's really important for our clients to understand what we're doing and how we make it work. So first things first, you need a website domain. So using the house analogy, this is your house address. So this is like number 12 Green Lane. And this is about what you call yourself, which actually is more important than you think. So I had a business prior to joining Indigo Sky, and it was called HL Business Solutions. And what does that mean? Like HR Business Solutions, it doesn't really describe anything, does it? So I really wanted going forward to build what I did into business names that I would have in future. So for example, marketing, print, and so forth. So really do think about building, for example, VA solutions or VA services into your domain name. Website hosting. So this is like the interconnecting between your website existing and your house address. So this is the land you're going to build your house on. It's important. It means that your website will physically operate. So make sure that you have website hosting on a reliable, fast server, and that's how your land exists. It's through a server that needs to make sure that it doesn't go down. Your server doesn't go down, and it's fast loading. And there are a lot of companies, including ourselves, that offer those services. Website build. So this is the structure of your website. This isn't about the design itself, but the actual page structure. So this is the house build itself. So this is a snapshot from our website in Indigo Sky. So we've got a home page about business support, design, web, and print. And we had to think in terms of our business, what are the key services that we want to highlight? Because it's like Zoe said, we could offer the sun, the sky, the moon, but what are the key things we want to highlight on our website to be really clear how we can help our customers? So we've broken it down to design, web, print, and business support. Website design. So then this is the overlaid design on the top. Now we find our clients are on kind of a bit of a spectrum when it comes to knowing what they want. And this links in with logo and branding. And I really would recommend that there's a synergy there. So the client either knows exactly what they want. So you've got a sketch and you're like, can you build this? The answer is yes, we can. And we'll make sure that it's definitely going to meet your business objectives. You might want to take inspiration from, it might be a competitor, you like certain aspects of their website, or it might be completely different business in a different sector. You might think, you know what, I really like that feature, that design, that look and feel. That's certainly something that that we can work with. And all the client is open to designing whatever, they say, you know what, I don't know what we want, take creative road with it, and then that's okay. And it's okay to be on any part of that spectrum. It's not an issue, and we're more than happy to offer some guidance with that. Also, added features for your website. These are designed to help you and grow your business, and also for your clients. So we can add e-commerce facility, so you might do branded merchandise, pens, etc. Stationery to grow your brand and grow your business. We can do that. Memberships, so you might have a client base that they sign up to a private area of your website and you publish monthly information. You might do video tutorials each month, and you basically have a membership part of your business that grows as another revenue stream. And also we do directory websites as well. So if you want to build up a directory, so as a VA, you might have a lot of contacts in various different industries or a particular industry. Again, that's another income stream for you. We can build directory websites that you can then charge people to become a part of. I'm going to very briefly touch on SEO. Now, I could do a whole probably day session on this, so do bear with me because I'm going to cover quite an in-depth area quite quickly. So search engine optimization is the art of being listed on higher on search engines. So if we were all to Google cleaning services right now on Google, you are going to get search results. Now, don't take for granted, apart from the paid for adverts that you'll see on Google, don't take for granted how hard those companies have had to work to organically appear on Google. When I say organically, I mean those that haven't had to pay for Google advertising to appear high on search engines. So how do you get good SEO? So ensure your website is on a reliable server first and foremost, because if you think about it, if your server's constantly going down, search engines are going to be thinking this website's unreliable, I'm not going to list them highly at all. Focus your website build on the flagship services and products that you want to offer, and so it's really, really clear, and your website is really, really easy for clients to navigate as to what you're about and the key services that you want to offer. Again, related to Zoe's point earlier, knowing what you want to do and being clear in your offering. Use a platform with good SEO capability, and this relates to my point about 123 Reg and GoDaddy earlier. Make sure that you know, although you might have all the best intentions, if the website platform isn't giving you those and there's blocks in the road and you've been forced into the block of flats when you want to be a detached house, it might be time to change platform if you've not already started your website journey. And it is possible, and we are happy to have a conversation about that. Know your keywords and build that into your content. So what do you want to be found for? We offer keyword reporting if you're unsure what people might be searching to find your services, especially if you're trying to target a specific industry. We can certainly help with that, but it's knowing what you want to be found for. And this is going back to knowing who your customers are and your products and services. And make your content easy to read. So basically SEO is not just about keywords, but it's about readability scoring. Again, I could go into this for quite a while, but I won't. But it's about having simple sentences, not long paragraphs, formatted headings, subheadings, basically making a website not too text heavy, because there's nothing worse than being confronted with a web page full of text, no images, very dull. Search engines feel the same way. We also, I would say, I know I'm going through a lot of information to cover in regards to websites. We do sometimes find that website projects come to a halt quite a lot because clients are like, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do, I haven't updated my content for ages, I've got writer's block, help. There is that assistance there is that support that if you like it, and we make sure we balance content writing that's engaging with that SEO optimization as well. So your clients will like it, but also search engines will like it. So more than happy to have a discussion if we can be of help in any way. Finally, and most importantly, we make sure your website is legal. Do you know there are that many illegal websites out there? So what makes a legal website? So it's about having a cookie policy, which you may see, you know, the little pop-ups that appear on websites where it's relevant. Having a privacy, being GDPR compliant in all the client's data that you handle, and having a statement that makes it really clear how you are compliant, and having website terms and conditions as well on your website. And this is all to do with the information is displayed. You try and be as up to date as you can with it, but you obviously you don't accept any liability if there is occasional inaccuracies due to timing delays with updating the website. So once we have sign off on all those types of things, you can move forward with the website build itself. And these are just a few examples of ones we've done. So there's a trade directory here we did for a Canadian building directory. This was a membership and e-commerce website we did for a company. Membership website. This one, so this was for a gym, and clients could book onto sessions through an online calendar, which saved this company a ton of paperwork. So websites out there can save you to admin time as well. There's just a few more examples of what we do. And we also offer online training for our clients as well. So we will show you how to update and edit content so you're not locked out of your website. We overlay our websites on WordPress with really easy to use a content editor, so you're not having to constantly contact us if you want to change text or images. And we're not just going to leave you in the lurch in terms of when a website's been built. So we offer website maintenance, and we also offer ad hoc help as well, as and when you need it. We will not just leave you high and dry without being able to access or edit your website. So I'd invite you at the moment, we've got some current great deals on if you're interested in working with us. This is just a snapshot of our homepage. So if you scroll down onto our homepage and click on the click here for our great website package deals, we've currently got various different packages that we're offering for our clients. So do take a look if you're currently considering a website. For those of you with an existing website, we're here to help. We'd love to be able to support you in your marketing journey. So we are currently offering a no obligation website review, and that will look at your current SEO score, your usability, so how it renders on different devices, tablet and mobile devices, how your website is performing on servers, your social connections, so how well is your website connected to social media and what could you do to improve that, and your overall website security too. That's really, really important. So just some takeaways from today, because I really hope you found it useful, is if you've got whether you've got a current website or you're going to create a website, there's some key takeaways here. Feel free to print screen it if you'd like. Know who your customers are, understand your products and services, knowing your keywords, which we've discussed, having an effective domain name, a good design, good content that's got in balance with appeasing search engines as well as your clients, ensuring legality and keeping your website up to date. Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, thank you so much, Helena. I really appreciate it. And like I say, Indigo did a great job on the PA Forum website, and the team are really, really supportive. So if you've had a chance to have a look at our website, you can see just some of the great work that they've done there. But if anyone's got any questions, please feel free to drop those in the chat box or unmute yourself, and we'll put those to Helena before we move on to Nicky.
Thank you. I've also got my email address there. If anyone wants to email me privately as well, that's absolutely fine. I'd be more than happy to have a no obligation chat. We're here to help people any aspect of websites, so it's not a problem. Happy to help.
Thank you, lovely. Thank you so much. But without further ado, for those of you that might have attended our annual Learning and Development Conference last year, we were introduced to the amazing Nicky Pasquier. Nicky,
not amazing.
Nicky, who started off her career as an assistant, has done some absolutely amazing creative things with Canva. Canva for me was an absolute minefield, and I just think it was so overwhelming to watch your session, Nicky, at the conference and see just how many hints and tips you fitted into that one session. Was absolutely crazy.
I hope it wasn't too overwhelming for people.
Not at all. It was amazing. And for anybody who's watching this, if you want to go onto the PA Forum YouTube channel, Nicky has kindly agreed that we can reshare that session there. So thank you so much, Nicky. But
very welcome.
Welcome back.
Thank you so much, Dan. Goodness, what an introduction. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Nicky Pasquier. I'm the founder of Virtuoso Assistant, and I started off as a VA from absolutely nowhere, no business experience, nothing. And I built my brand primarily using Canva, which is why I'm so passionate about sharing my skills with you. It works. I wouldn't share anything and I wouldn't promote anything that doesn't really work. And as a very small startup, I use visual content to cut through all the noise online, and using visual content. So that would be image files, that would be GIF files, small, very short videos. And so I used Canva to do that. And I'm now very proud to say I'm a Canva brand ambassador, Canva certified creative, which means that I can dig behind the scenes with a group of other creatives, and we're allowed to test all the new features which aren't yet made public. And we give Canva feedback and we say, no, that's rubbish, that's never going to work, or that's fantastic, go ahead, please go ahead and publish it. So I am really excited to be able to share with you today. We've been given the green light to share certain features. I think there've been 3 new features that were published just yesterday. So I've been given the green light to share them with you today. So I'm going to share my screen with you. I hope this works. Please forgive me if it doesn't work. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to walk you through these features because they really are fabulous. So let me just share my screen. Is everybody seeing that?
No, not yet, Nicky. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I think we're coming on now. Yeah, thank you.
Brilliant. Okay. So let me just move this down a little bit. Right. So the first new release yesterday was smart mockups. And this allows you to really bring to life your visuals, such as ebook covers, for instance, presentations, anything that you want to make more three-dimensional. And what you need to do is you upload an image file. So it can be a PNG, it can be a photograph, it can be a graphic. So I've just loaded this graphic of one of my presentations into a template in Canva. And what I'm going to do next is just click once to select the graphic. And then I'm going to go up to the top left-hand corner of my Canva toolbar, and I can see a little tab called Effects. If I click on Effects, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? Yes, it is going to work. I just need to scroll down a little tiny bit there, and I can see Smart Mockups. Now, this is free for everyone to use. It used to be an integration, and I think it used to be for Canva Pro only, but it is now free for everybody to use, which I think is wonderful. Underneath, you can see some categories such as smartphone, laptop, greeting card, frames, t-shirts even. And you can use these side arrows just to scroll through each category. Now I'm going to open them all up. So I'm going to click on See All. And there you can see all the categories underneath. I'll leave you to scroll through them in your own time because there are some wonderful categories and lots of them. So I have a horizontal image here. So something horizontal, a horizontal smart mockup is going to suit this image. So I'm just going to click on laptop 1 and show you what happens. There you go. That graphic, that graphic has been added to a mockup magically. It's absolutely wonderful. And you can go through all of these. Let me try another laptop on its own. So if you don't want a backdrop, you can just add it to an isolated laptop. There you go. Bingo. And you can make your designs really come to life with these mock-ups. As I say, there are lots of them. How about a greeting card? I was playing around with these yesterday, so I haven't used all of them. So I'm just having a lot of fun here. You can see in some of them that there are little tiny buttons, and those are your editing buttons. So each of these mock-ups can be customized. So I'm just going to click on those to show you what you can do. There's a drop-down menu right here, and there's an option to fill the mock-up with your image. You can fit it. So there you go. You have your entire image within the mock-up, but you might have some spaces above or to the side. Or you can completely customize it. And you can use these little buttons here. You can drag these buttons along the slider bars just to customize how it's going to look within that mock-up. You can customize the size. Yep. You can see that happening right there. So you can really get it perfectly, looking perfect. And once you're happy with your image in the mock-up, all you need to do is click on Apply. And that's saved. And so that's smart mock-ups. And as I say, that is Dan, he's smiling. They are free for everybody to use. So I think that's a great addition. Moving down to the next one, and I love this. I absolutely love this. Lots of people got in touch and said, I'm seeing people adding shadows to their images and their visuals and so forth, and there are some really funky frames. We want this. And so Canva listened, and Canva does listen. So if you let us know what you want, we will feed the information back, and Canva does listen. And if it's something that they feel is going to really resonate with the audience, they will implement it. So please do let me know if there's something that you need. Right. Shadows and frames. Again, all you need to do is upload a PNG file, a photograph into a template in Canva. And again, like I did before, click on that image to select it. You go up again to the top left-hand corner, click on effects. It's a little bit sluggish because I'm sharing my screen and Zoom is on in the background, so it's a little bit sluggish. But if you scroll right down to the bottom, oh gosh. This is the beauty of going live. Things happen.
That's okay, Nicky. Completely. We had a power cut last time in the middle of the session, which is something we can't help, is it, when we're online? But no, thank you. This looks great.
You will find frames and shadows. Now, you won't see frames and shadows as I'm seeing it because I've already connected them. But all you need to do is click on the connect button and you will see these just as I'm looking at them right now. So again, you can scroll through the different frames using these side arrows. So you have a phone, a white tablet, scrolling through, Polaroid black. So I'm just going to click on see all. And you can see there aren't many at the minute because they're very much in the testing phase. So they're looking for feedback on what people think about these frames. So for instance, I'm going to click on a silver glitter frame. So I'm just going to select it. And bingo, my little person, my little Bitmoji has been added to a silver glitter frame. Some of these frames you can customize in the same way as I customized the smart mockups. Some of them you can, some of them you can't, but it's just a question of going through and playing with each one and seeing what they look like. I think they are absolutely fantastic and you can do a lot with them. I'm just going to click back because frames, as I say, there aren't a lot and they are still sort of waiting for feedback from people. And I'm going to click on shadows because these are absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to select them all. And there are only a few categories, but they do so much. I'm going to add a backdrop shadow to my Bitmoji. And you can see what happens. Isn't that great? It is wonderful. And again, I've got some customization tools right in the center of the button. So if I click on those, I can customize the angle of the shadow. So you can see what's happening there. It looks like the sun's moving around, doesn't it? I can move the horizontal angle. Like that, I can customize the transparency. I can even customize the color of the shadow. So if I want to be really funky and add a pink shadow, I can. There you go. And to confirm your changes, all you need to do is click on apply. Are we liking this? Is everybody liking this?
I was just saying it makes it look so 3D.
It really does, doesn't it? Yeah.
100%. And I think when you're using something quite personal like a Bitmoji as well, it just brings it out the page, doesn't it?
It really does. I know I'm a bit of a Canva geek, but I'm really excited about these. Right, scrolling down, I don't know if many of you use your mobile to create images in Canva, but if you do, you might want to have a look because they're bringing out a new mobile app right now. I've got it because I'm a Canva creative, but some of you might notice a few changes over the next week or so to your Canva app interface. Now, one of the things which is really difficult to do when you're creating stuff and you're using your finger and your thumb to move things around is you can't get micro adjustments. So let me just click on this little video here, which I created. And you'll see how this works. I hope you can see how this works. If you select an element and you want to move it around ever so slightly, you can use the nudge button, and it's right down the bottom of your interface. So right here, you'll find the nudge button, and you can just tap on the nudge button to move things up a little bit, or to the side a little bit, or to the down. So it really is tiny, tiny adjustments, but I think they're very, very useful because it's hard to get those adjustments when you're using your thumb and your finger. They tend to move too much. So again, that's rolling out. You might not be able to see them just yet, but they will be taking place within the next week or so. So keep checking your app. The next little update for you is sharing as a template, sorry. So if you have a template and you want to share it with somebody, but you don't want them to spoil your own template, you can share the link to use as a template. Now that used to be for pros only. It's a great little feature because so many times I give away templates as part of my training, and I shared a link to use as a template and shared a link to edit, and so many people, unfortunately, it's a bit like overwriting a Word document. It's completely spoiled. Unless you make a copy of that document, a Word document or a template, you're going to spoil the original. So now everyone can share a link to use as a template, which means your copy doesn't change. Whoever you're sharing the template with has their own copy, which I think is a tiny, tiny change, but I think it's a game changer as well, especially with people who create courses, who want to create templates to share with clients, for instance. Yeah, I think that's another great feature. And that was just rolled out yesterday, so keep a lookout for that. Lines. Now this is tiny and I'm really geeking out here, but I don't know if you recall way back in the day when Canva was fairly new, creating lines was a pain in the butt, to put it frankly. It was so difficult to get really, really thin lines. You used to have to use a square and reduce it in sort of horizontally and then stretch it out and then reduce it. Oh, it was a real pain. Now we have lines. So if you look in the sidebar, the toolbar, you click on elements. Sorry for it's being a bit laggy.
We had a question just while that's coming up. It says, if you amend the template, does it cascade to the link?
Sorry, say again.
If you amend the template, does it cascade to the link? So I think, does that mean, Cheryl, that if you make an amendment on the link, does it go back to the original? I think, if that's right. Yes. I think no. So were you saying, Nicky, that if you send use the send the template link, it doesn't affect the original design at all?
No, it doesn't affect the original design, provided you share it as a template, and anyone can do this now, which is wonderful. So it doesn't affect your copy at all.
Fab, thank you.
I'm kind of overdoing my time, but here are the lines. You click on a line to create it. Well, normally you click on a line to create it. I've got one here. And you can see the tools at the top on my toolbar. You can change the weight of the line by just dragging this little button along the slide bar. You can change the look of your line. So it can be a dashed line, it can be a dotted line. It can be, you can change the end parts of the lines to whatever you want, I think, and obviously change the color. I think, again, this is a game changer for people who use lines in a lot of templates, which I do. So a small change, but I think it's really, really useful. Last but not least, we've got page titles and page comments. I haven't got time to go through this, so if anybody wants to jump in and book a 30-minute free session with me, you're very welcome to do so. I will go through this with you. If you're doing presentations, and I'm big on presentations in Canva, I think they're wonderful. If you present your slides online, you can create your notes, and your notes section will come up on the right hand side of your screen. So use it as prompts. Again, I'll go through this with anybody who wants to know, but that's a new thing that was released just yesterday. Wonderful for presenters. And also page titles. You can see up here, I can add a page title. Again, if you've got a very, very long template, it's just useful to add a page title or a page name. So I know I'm rushing through this now. I've been sort of spending a bit too much time on various things, but I have got a free trial, 45-day trial, which you can benefit from. It's only released by Canva Creative. So if you haven't already taken up this offer, please do. Use this link here. I'll drop it into the chat section, but please use this link. It gives you 45 free days. It's commitment free. If you don't use it, you'll automatically go back to your free Canva account. So don't be worried at all. As I say, it's free for you to use 45 days rather than the usual 30. And I've also set up some new packages on my website. I'm offering a 50% discount code for PA forum users only to get some one-to-one training in Canva. It will be completely tailored to your needs. So if you'd like to find out more, again, I'll leave these links in the chat section. Just click on this link right here and you can book your free 30-minute chat with me, and then we can organise some training with a 50% discount code. And to get your discount, just use PA Forum in capital letters. So I hope that was useful. I hope I didn't go on too much.
Yeah,
Any
honestly,
questions?
Thank you so much, Nikki. I think Canva is just it's just a new world. I think the chat box is going absolutely crazy. But yeah, I think it's very, very kind of you to give that to our members. So thank you so much. And
You're very welcome.
Loads of questions. What I'll do is after the meeting, I'll send out an email and I'll copy
I'll
you.
answer them all. Yeah. So if you have any questions, do let me know. And there is a 30-minute free chat available for you. So book your chat.
Thank you, darling. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And finally, we have the wonderful Yvonne Dooley. Now, for those of you who might not have met Yvonne before, Yvonne's part of our VA committee, along with Caroline and Helen, who are on the call today. And Yvonne kindly did a social media session for us in the middle of last year, in the middle of lockdown, and has done some amazing videos for us as part of the PA Forum, and looks after a lot of our social media channels, and she's absolutely fantastic. So Yvonne's come to tell us today about an overview of social media for you, just so you can understand a little bit more. So welcome, Yvonne.
Hello everybody. I'm just going to try and share my screen.
Loving your background, Yvonne.
Green screen. Right, I'm just gonna, can everybody see that?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, so just very briefly going to go over social media and why you should be all over it, everybody, all the time. And as anybody who knows me, I can talk forever about social media, but not today. I'm going to be quite brief. So basically, there are two strands of social media. There's B2C, business to commercial, which is predominantly retail. So that is sort of Coca-Cola, and that is very much a numbers game, dealing directly with end consumers. But I'm not going to cover that today. I'm going to cover social media, B2B, business to business, and that is a completely different animal. So I'm going to tell you today why you should focus social media for business to business and to promote your business, and then to give you some basic guidelines on how you can get you on your way. So number one is always remember that businesses are not faceless. They are made up of people, and ultimately people buy from people. 60% of the world are active on social media, and that means that nearly 4 billion people are online every day. You need to tap into that audience and get them to engage with you, and social media is the perfect channel to get you in front of the vast audience if you know what you're doing, and that's where I come in today. So it's important that you understand what your unique selling point is, your USP. Social media is fantastic to show off your USP, and there's loads of things, loads of media that you can do. You can use videos and you can use pictures. Infographics work tremendously. anything that makes it interesting and makes your business stand out from your competitors is a good thing. And this is my little bit of a nerdy fact area now. The human brain processes pictures and images 65,000 times faster than text. And that means you only have a few seconds to grab people's attention whilst they're scrolling. So it's really important that you visualize correctly. Another important factor to consider is that you need to give your business personality. There are lots of corporate stiff messages out there, but you need to make sure that yours is more human so that you can connect with people on a completely different level and make real connections. As a B2B, you must always remember that it's quality, not quantity. B2B is about having the right connections and not necessarily the number of connections. Not a popularity contest, and you're not a celebrity social media influencer who needs to have 1 trillion followers. It just doesn't work that way. Don't get caught up in chasing the number of followers. You just need to focus on making the right connections that can then lead to new business relationships. That's more important than anything. So you think to yourself, what platform is the best that I should use? Bearing in mind that the only constant in social media is actually change. It changes all the time. So I'm just going to take a minute to go through them and briefly cover it so you can figure it out for yourself. So number one, we have Facebook, the popper platform. It is still the biggest platform out there with the largest audience. It offers the widest range of formats for you to use. You can use text, videos, photos. You can go live, which works really well if that's your bag and that's what you want to do. You can ask questions and use polls. You can post links. You can do funnies with gifts. There's even live chat rooms on there now. So it's constantly changing and it's very different to the likes of Instagram and Twitter. It gives you more tools to work to reach that greater audience. Like every platform, there are a few downsides. Growth has slowed down and it's showing signs people are starting to level off with Facebook, and that's for a few reasons. Privacy is one of them. Facebook are very clever at tracking what you do, whether you're on Facebook, but what became a bit of a publicity thing recently is that they're also tracking you when you're not on Facebook, unless you give them, you turn that off and you stop that permission. Your activity on and off that platform, they control that unless you physically switch it off. And that functionality, they've made that very unclear as to how you can do it and actually carrying it out. So for anyone that wants to make this done, I'm going to put a link on my Facebook and LinkedIn page later on with the instructions to make sure that you do switch that functionality off if that's what you want to do. I do think that was a little bit naughty, but everything's getting out there now, so it's fine. Another thing that I think has slowed down the popularity on Facebook is politics. Very dirty word out there at the moment. What with the US election, Russian interference, Brexit, everything like that, lots of people got really hacked off with Facebook being used for misinformation, blind campaigns, and we all seem to be inundated with trashy posts all the time. And so we did. A lot of people have come off for a while. But as we all know, audiences are very fickle. And as Arnie would say, I'll be back. So that's Facebook is a little bit all over the shop at the moment, but it's not all doom and gloom. There's a lot of new features being introduced all the time, and Facebook is constantly evolving. And we can never forget that for Facebook, it has exceptional targeted advertising. For very little money, for a couple of pounds a day, you can target specific advertising demographics, including gender, interests, industries, even geographically. Very type focused, all at your fingertips, and the other platforms really don't compete with that at all at this moment in time. So in conclusion, I think for Facebook as a business or as someone just working independently, you pretty much have to be on Facebook. I think it is the main player still, but always make sure that you have a business page separate from your personal page. And the most important thing is post regularly. So Instagram has over 1 billion users. It has quite a younger demographic, but there is a real big crossover. It's very consumer focused, but the user base is a massive part of that. It's purely visual, highly engaging with brands, and it is targeted at the consumer market. So Insta's not going anywhere, and we use Insta. It's very good. LinkedIn, 722 million users. It's had a huge growth pandemic as people have worked from home and online, and everybody seems to be on LinkedIn now. It's used as a recruitment space for both employees, but also for those looking for work. It is a sort of networking heaven. 96% of B2B marketeers use it for content distribution. And again, you can add the text, the photos, the links. It is slightly different as it's a more educational and conversational material based platform. A lot of people share articles and blogs, but this is ever increasing, and I think LinkedIn is the one to watch at the moment. And then we have Twitter. Now I find that Twitter's less relevant for B2B, it is more B2C. But if you can post, it's still worth it. It's very relevant, as I say, for B2C, because it's great for customer service. So reacting to customers commenting, asking questions about products. The only thing about it is you do need to be on top of it all the time, answering straight away to any queries that are on there, and monitoring negative queries as well, because there is a lot of that going on. And then TikTok. TikTok is, oh hang on, what have I done there? TikTok is very much the new kid on the block. Primarily an entertainment platform. The user base has doubled in the last 2 years to over 1 billion. Anyone who's tried it, just be prepared to lose 2 hours of your life straight away. You start off with, this is a load of trash, and then 2 hours later you think, oh my god, I've just watched it non-stop. Companies are just getting to grips with it. So B2B, the jury's out a little bit. Our initial view is small business advice videos. They work really well on there, and then people do start to follow you. It's very smart on the algorithm side. It serves up very relevant conversation and content to you very quickly. So it knows what you're looking for, it knows what you like, and that can be a little bit scary. But TikTok's here to stay, I think, for a while. So that's covering the basics of everything. Social media is a must for any business, and it must be part of your strategy as well. But if anyone has any queries or questions about how they should start, if they're doing something right or wrong, or just need some advice, I'm on all the platforms, and Dan's got my details as well. I'm happy for anyone to ask me any questions, and I'm always there to give advice. There you go, Dan.
Thank you very much, Yvonne. Well, we hope that we've given you a really broad understanding. I mean, we could literally talk about this for weeks. It's amazing. There's so many different elements of design, marketing, creativity for you to think about. But we really just wanted to introduce you to some experts within their field so that you could get a little bit more of an understanding of the latest updates, things that you might have to considered before, things that you might think, oh, actually, I need to start thinking about my marketing campaigns and how that's going to impact me. I need to update my website. I need to think about SEO. Have I explored Canva before and all the amazing materials and that it has within it? And also, am I on social media and is the right platform for me? So thank you so much to Zoe, to Helena, to Nicky, and to Yvonne, who have joined us today and shared their expertise with us. Thank you so much. We will share the video recording afterwards, and we would really appreciate if you could share with the VA community as well, just so they know that we've got our events coming up this year and they're very, very welcome to join. It's all free and everybody gives up their time to join us. And if you've enjoyed it today, please do give them a shout out on social media, because we'd love that as well. But without further ado, have a fantastic afternoon, everybody. Thank you to our experts, and we look forward to seeing you at the next VA Forum meeting soon. Thank you.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks.